It's had a massive impact. I mean, I know it probably feels like a long time ago for everyone, and a lot of people have tried to just erase it from the memory completely. So a lot of organisations lose some really credible, knowledgeable people. We're also seeing a lot of new technology. I mean, the landscape of IT has continued to change and evolve. New challenges that haven't been seen before, from security to management of the software itself. But from a business's perspective, the ripple effects actually are quite significant. And actually, when we think about it, it's actually a really, really exciting time.
Hi everyone, just before we get started on today's episode, I'd like to ask you to do two things for us. The first thing is to please subscribe. If you like our content and you think it's worth your while, subscribing is going to let us know that you value the content and that we should continue to make it. The second thing I'm going to ask you to do is to listen, and listen carefully. The whole intention behind this podcast is to help you. We're here to offer different perspectives, to assist you with whatever journey you're on. So please feel free to ask any questions in the comments or to make suggestions around future topics that we can cover on the podcast, and we'll do our best to get back to you. So without further ado, let's get on with the episode. Hello and welcome to Head in the Clouds, a brand new podcast brought to you by Certero, where we'll be hosting topical conversations around all things ITAM, SAM, Cloud, SaaS and FinOps. So on this episode of Head in the Cloud, we're joined by Rick Sterling, Global Sales Director at Certero. Hey Rick, how are you doing?
I'm really well, thanks Steve, thanks for having me.
No, it's my pleasure. So Rick, obviously, we've been in business for quite some time now. We started in 2007 as predominantly an ITAM player, really, but we quickly realised SAM is where we should be, and we moved into that space very, very quickly. But after 17 years in business, this is the first time we've done anything like this. So why do we need a podcast, and why now?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And actually, when we think about it, it's actually a really, really exciting time. So if we take a little bit of a step back and we look at things, there is so much amount of change in our industry at the moment, and it creates a lot of opportunity within the market, but also for ourselves. And it's great for people to get to know us. So if we take those things that we see as a bit of change at the moment, let's talk about them. So there is a lot of economic uncertainty at the moment. That's causing our customers and people that we speak to a lot of challenges. So they can invest in solutions, but only if they save them money. And that's exactly what we do across of all of our solutions, whether they're across of ITAM, SAM, SaaS, Cloud. We help customers to save money and to reduce their risk. So really important, but that's a massive driver, and it's such an uncertain time that's making a lot of decision making very difficult for customers, and at the same time simple in the way that they can only invest in things that do save them money. So that's one key thing. We're also seeing a lot of new technology. I mean, the landscape of IT has continued to change and evolve at a rapid rate, and that's just gotten a whole load more rapid over the last few years. So now we're talking around AI. It's predominantly a large element of the conversation. Very exciting for users who are looking to adopt it, as you can imagine, but causing all sorts of types of new challenges that haven't been seen before, from security to management of the software itself. So that's really important, as well as the continuing of the adoption of SaaS management, as well as FinOps and Cloud as well. So all of that is really, really important and very, very topical. Big change that's not just going to stop now, it's going to continue to evolve. And we want people to understand how we can support them through those types of things as well. And another big change as well, it's probably got to be said, is that there is a VC in the market that's buying up a lot of SAM solutions, and I see us as the only real dominant challenger in the market, and it's great for people to understand a little bit more about who they're about and what we're about, so they can come speak to us and get to know us properly. And this is a great way of people being able to start that journey.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's interesting, when we look at the state of the economy today and we compare that to when Certero started. I mean, when Certero started, it was 2007, right before the last financial crisis that the world had to endure. In that time, we saw a massive increase in vendor audits. It's really what started the whole SAM industry. If you look at the stats from 2010, I think 78% of customers had 2 or 3 audits in the 12-month period. Given the last decade and everybody kind of getting into software asset management, it's become much more mainstream over the years. How do you feel customers are prepared if that audit phase comes back, and audits kind of rise again? Do you think customers are prepared for that? And if not, what can they do now to help improve what they can do?
Yeah, it's a good question, and of course, we've created our services businesses, so we speak to customers with these challenges all the time because we can support them. And back in 2018, we actually addressed this as a problem and how we can help people because data center became a big problem. But if we go back to the beginning on this, if we just look at the sheer history of things, when revenues are down, vendors audit. We've been there before and we're seeing it again. And at the moment, there is a lot of risk because we know that there's not always that knowledge within organizations for companies to truly have a handle on those changes that are being made by vendors who are then auditing. And ultimately, you've got customers who are being held, accountable for things that they're just not aware of. And given this economic climate at the same time, the risk is just so high of not being able to understand and really get a true handle of what those problems are. So it's very, very important that they get it right. And then obviously a lot of people have left through things like COVID and they don't have that knowledge and expertise then to fall back on. And so it's a big problem. Back in 2018, like I said, we launched our services practice, our global services business to help support customers with those types of problems. So yes, you can purchase our technology across of our solutions, but where you need that extra safety net to support and help you, then we actually can help organizations to do that. And more recently, we've seen a lot of adoption for things like Oracle Java, right? Which is causing a lot of problems where people need that input, that support, just to help them get through that through what we call our technology-led services. And that is supported by our partners as well. So yeah, we see big changes and we do see those vendor audits on the rise, but it's nothing that we can't support and help our customers with.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know what? You mentioned COVID there, which is a really interesting topic because I think if we all cast our mind back, it's the one thing that we can all really remember that had a big significant change, not just the ITAM and SAM space, but life in general, how we all went to work, whatever industry you were in, everyone worked from home or was on furlough. So, how do you think an event like COVID changed our ITAM and SAM industry and what we do?
Yeah, it's had a massive impact. I mean, I know it probably feels like a long time ago for everyone, and a lot of people have tried to just erase it from the memory completely because it was pretty stressful. But from a business's perspective, the ripple effects actually are quite significant. If we just take some things in our industry that we still see today, several years on, that haven't changed too much. So, back in 2008, ITAM, management of hardware and infrastructure, that was really, a problem. But quite quickly, through solutions that we offered and things out in the market, you got to understand those things. And actually, that problem went away. It was more about management of software. But the real problem, I suppose, now is that with everyone in the market, having to support a global, practice and business working from home, those challenges really started to take on different forms. So being able to understand what hardware people were using at home when they're not on a network, really difficult things to be able to do. They were also buying hardware or leasing hardware that wasn't freely available. So they paid a lot of money for those types of devices. So the management of hardware just became really difficult. It's not easy, it's expensive, and that's caused a lot of impact to organizations. So quite simply, visibility of assets and the life cycle management of those assets has become really difficult. And it's still a conversational topic today that obviously we support either our customers and is a ripple effect from COVID. Also, if we look at the problem that I touched on before around services, we saw a lot of organizations lose some really credible, knowledgeable people. And they had a couple of different things that we've seen that they've took from that business if they've decided to move on. So one is the subject matter expertise within licensing itself, which takes a long, long time to learn and understand. And if you've got someone who's left the business with, 10, 20 years experience and they're replaced, well, that's great, but a lot of that knowledge can't just be learned overnight. It needs to be accrued through experience, and that's difficult to be able to take those people, and bring new people in with that level of experience. And then the side that perhaps people don't think about too much is, just the sheer understanding within the business. They've been there for a long period of time. They know how that business operates and how to function. And getting things done can be done a lot more simply than a new person coming in. That's had a big challenge and a big problem. So for us, we were quite lucky really with obviously having our services practice to support those businesses. But in 2020, we launched our SaaS solutions, right? So all of our solutions can be used and utilized by us hosting them on our SaaS-based platforms. And that's really helped customers of ours to either migrate or to adopt a cloud-first strategy that they already had. And then we can actually take some of that heavy lifting from them so they can see those devices, those remote users at home without any problems anymore. And we can also support on those administrative tasks where resources and people just aren't there. They know it's important, but they can't manage them. And it's not easy for them to fix that problem. So we can step in and we can help and do all of that for them. And that's been extremely successful and helpful for our customers as well.
Well, Rick, it's really interesting to hear about some of the history and some of the times that Certero's been through and the journey we've been on. But I can't help but talk about the future because there's some exciting times coming at Certero for 2025 and beyond. FinOps as an industry is becoming much more prevalent. Customers are finding out more about it. It's an ever-changing thing, though. It's kind of moving from a cloud-focused discipline to cover more of the asset management space in general, focusing on optimization. Security is becoming a big part of IT in general, but more specifically kind of encroaching in the SAM space as well. And obviously optimization, everyone wants to make sure they're spending the right money on the right things. So, looking into 2025 and beyond, what has Certero got in store?
Honestly, 2025 is a really, really exciting year for Certero. We're looking forward to what it might bring for us. We're rebranding the Certero business. So you might see, if you want to know a little bit more about us, go to our new website or reach out to us. But that's very exciting for us as well. But ultimately, we've got a whole load of other things going on. And I'll try and put some meat on the bones around some of these things, but I'm sure that the podcast we'll do in the future will help flash some of those things out. We're bringing new technologies to market to support with FinOps. So in San Diego, they've got the FinOps X event. In June, we will be going there as a FinOps member, and we will be launching our new platform to support with FinOps and also with SaaS management as well. So across the FinOps, we'll be making sure that we can support multi-cloud solutions and also multiple SaaS solutions through SaaS management. That's very, very exciting. And as a result of that, obviously, we're going to be supporting new services that we'll be bringing to market that help, optimize and create opportunity for organizations to invest to save, which is really, really important based on some of the themes that we've spoken about before. On top of that as well, we're going into other areas of the globe. So currently we operate into three sort of key sub-hemispheres: UK, international, North America, and Asia Pac. But we're focusing on some key territories that we're really interested in expanding into: Netherlands, the DACH region specifically, and also Middle East. So that's really exciting for us through our partnerships and directly as well. And I think that one of the key measures for us that we want to continue to maintain, and we're very proud of this, but back in 2024, we were the Gartner Customers' Choice as the only SAM solution that provided value, through customers and how they rated us. So this was customers across of all of the different solutions, rating all the different products that were out there. And we were very fortunate in that they felt that we were the solution that was, voted as, top right solution, and the only one at that as well. So that's a really good measure for us. We want to continue to maintain that and grow on it as well as we grow into other areas such as SaaS management and FinOps. It's very, very important for us. But yeah, that in itself is an accomplishment that we want to continue to maintain. So very, very important and very exciting. Lots and lots of stuff to do on the agenda. And hopefully it's enough that people will want to engage, understand more, and reach out to us and get to know us that little bit better as well.
Absolutely. No, thanks so much, Rick, for joining us on our very first episode of Head in the Cloud. We've covered a lot of ground there. We are going to be bringing more videos out that go into much more detail on all of these topics. But if anyone out there has found the episode useful, if there's anything of interest specifically that we've talked about today, then feel free to get in touch with us. But Rick Sterling, once again, thank you so much for your time today, and we'll see you all on the next episode. So yeah, I thought that went all right, Rick.
I thought we did really, really well.
First
I'm really happy
podcast.
with it. Not bad, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, got a call.
Oh, who's this? Hello? Okay. I'll tell. That's the marketing team.
What are you saying?
They want people to like and subscribe. And if you've got any comments, please leave them below in the comments section.
Yeah.
Cheesy.
Good.
Cheesy as hell, man.